Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over ongoing effects and timed effects apart from weather cards. So there are a lot of cards in Gwent that have ongoing effects other than weather. For instance, this Temerian drummer here, he'll boost a random ally by 1 at the start of every turn after I played him. And for instance, Trollolo, he gains 2 armor at the start of every turn after I play him. So there are a lot of cards like this that have some ongoing effect that benefits you after you've played them to the board. Typically these effects occur at the start of turns, but they don't have to. Certain rarer effects actually occur at the end of a turn. You'll see my gold card Priscilla here. She actually has a counter or timed effect. Her counter says, at the end of every turn, boost an ally by 3, and then the counter goes down. So basically, she can have this buff effect occur 4 times before her counter runs out, and then she'll stop buffing. I will say there are other counter or timed effects that don't happen immediately, but have a stronger effect that only happens once the timer goes down to 0. So you might have a card that, say, has a 3-turn timer, and after 3 turns has passed, it does something powerful, such as removing the strongest unit that is on the entire board.
Are you certain? I'd do it differently.
So, with these sort of value over time cards, you can end up getting a lot of extra buffing at the start of every turn, if your units manage to stay on the board. So you don't always need to be looking to put the most strength possible on your side every turn. You can instead try to set up cards that are a little bit slower, but provide value over time, kind of like a positive version of weather. I will say the priority of when these effects trigger is kind of murky and not particularly well explained, and I don't think there's actually a good resource or list of the priority in terms of when effects trigger, but one thing that is always certain is at the start of every turn, all your positive buffs and stuff happen before weather. So if I had weather on my side damaging me, all my buff effects and whatnot would occur first, then the weather damage would tick, I would take my turn, and then any after-turn effects would happen. And one important thing to note is that any card that has any kind of timer or every turn type effect, that effect or timer always occurs and counts down on the turn of the player whose side the card is on. So, for instance, the opponent might play a card onto my side, a spy, that has a timed effect. That spy's timed effect would be counting down on my turns because it's on my side, even though the opponent played the card. So it's important to note that it matters whose side the card is on, not who played the card, in terms of when the effect is counting down and happens. That's all there really is to say about ongoing effects in this video. But in the next few videos I'm going to be getting into some different mechanics we haven't touched on too much yet, such as Death Wish, tokens, shields, resilience, spying, and locking. So look forward to that, and see you in the next videos.